Most people believe aging is inevitable, that wrinkles, weight gain, fatigue, and fading beauty are just a normal part of life. But what if I told you that belief is the very reason you're aging faster than you should? Right now, there are women walking among us 50 years old, looking 30 not because of magic, not because of plastic surgery, but because they discovered 3 forbidden truths about the human body. Secrets that society was never supposed to know. Secrets that reprogram the biology of aging itself. You see, aging is not about time, it's about energy, it's about vibration, frequency, alignment. Some women, very few, have tapped into a power that science is only beginning to understand. They don't chase youth, they command it. They don't fear the mirror because their cells listen to their beliefs. This is not about beauty creams. This is not about good genes. This is about the mind, the body, and the frequency you live in every single day. You're not going to believe what you hear in the next few minutes. But by the end of this video, you will never look at aging the same way again. You'll realize you've been lied to your entire life. Because if you think aging is automatic, then tell me, why do some 50-year-olds glow with the radiance of their 30s, while others collapse into fatigue, fog, and defeat? This is not coincidence, it's mastery. If you're ready to know the 3 real secrets that will make your body reverse its clock right now, then stay with me, because this is the moment everything changes. Like this video if you've ever felt like aging hit you too soon. Comment yes if you're ready to defy time itself, or comment no if you still believe aging has to destroy you. And don't forget to subscribe, because we're only just getting started. As women, most people think stress is something that happens to them. They never realize it's something they generate. Stress is not in the situation, it's in the identity you've unconsciously agreed to live inside. Every time you say, that's just how I am, you reinforce the cage. The women who reverse age don't manage stress, they eliminate the version of themselves that creates it. Stress thrives in identities addicted to control, fear, and approval. The moment you believe you must be liked, you become a prisoner to people who don't even know themselves. The woman who looks 30 at 50 isn't lucky. She deconstructed the self that was addicted to struggle. She refused to keep playing the martyr, the savior, the good girl narrative that demands exhaustion as proof of worth. She realized stress is the body's alarm that you're living out of alignment with your truth. And she listened. Most women never question the mask they've been wearing since childhood. They carry the trauma of 1,000 unsaid no's in their nervous system. That trauma becomes tension. That tension becomes chemistry. That chemistry becomes accelerated aging. The lines on your face are not from time. They're from the emotions you've been rehearsing for decades. Women who look young don't smile more, they suffer less, they have boundaries so sharp they slice through emotional vampires. They don't tolerate energy leaks, not in conversations, not in relationships, not in their thoughts. They know the body keeps score, and every score settled in silence is written into the cells. They've stopped negotiating with guilt, shame, and duty, because those emotions age you faster than sugar ever could. Stress doesn't just wrinkle the skin. It shuts down regeneration, it hijacks your hormones, poisons your gut, and sends your mitochondria into survival mode. Survival mode is aging mode. But most people live there permanently. That's why the woman who refuses to be everything for everyone glows. She chose peace over performance. She let people be disappointed so her nervous system didn't have to be. She realized the real toxin wasn't outside. It was the identity that kept choosing self-abandonment in the name of approval. You cannot heal in the same personality that got you sick. You cannot glow in the same energy that burned you out. Stress is a program, and most women inherited it from their mothers, who inherited it from theirs, unspoken, unquestioned, unchallenged. But one woman said no more. She broke the lineage by no longer carrying the invisible burdens of being liked, being quiet, being small. That one decision created hormonal shifts, energetic clarity, and biological youth. Because the body always responds to truth. Truth feels like ease, and ease feels like youth. Every stressful thought releases chemicals. Most women are chemical addicts to their own suffering and don't even know it. They keep repeating the same emotional loops because the body is addicted to the familiarity of stress. But the woman who reversed her aging broke the addiction. She no longer needed adrenaline to feel alive. She chose calm over chaos, silence over proving, breath over reactivity, and that calm rewired her biology from decay to repair. Because the body doesn't just reflect your habits, it reflects your identity. When you stop reacting, you start regenerating. When you stop needing to be right, to be needed, to be enough, you free up energy to repair, restore, and rebalance. Aging accelerates when you live in the past. And stress is the body's way of reliving old emotions like they're still happening. Women who look timeless know this. That's why they live in the now. They don't just say it, they become it. Presence is youth, clarity is youth, peace is youth. And peace only comes when you destroy the false self that clings to chaos. Some women at 50 look 30 because they stopped lying to themselves. They shattered every mask, burned every script, and killed the version of themselves that lived to be accepted. They understood no cream, no serum, no surgery can compete with the radiance of someone who is finally free. Suppression is a slow death, and most people are decaying from within, not from age, but from everything they never said. These women reverse time by releasing the story that never belonged to them. They stop pretending to be okay. They stopped shrinking to make others comfortable. They stopped calling chaos normal. That moment when the truth erupted was the moment youth began returning to their face. They didn't age in years. They aged in lies. Every time they stayed silent, they lost glow. Every time they swallowed pain, their body paid the price. Emotional constipation becomes physical stagnation. The body is a mirror of the mind, and the mind is shaped by how much of your truth you dare to live. They faced themselves without flinching. They looked in the mirror and chose not to fake it. They spoke even when their voice trembled. They left even when it hurt. They cried without apology, and in that rawness, something powerful was born: cellular liberation. Because cells respond to truth like flowers to light. These women chose light. They no longer carried guilt like armor. Guilt is the heaviest anti-aging cream on earth. It doesn't remove lines, it carves them deeper. These women don't age like the rest because they release shame like it was poison. And it is. Shame ages you faster than sugar. It tightens your jaw, stiffens your spine, and blocks every channel of vitality. They stopped living to be good and chose instead to be real. And in the realness, the body relaxed. It's not stress that makes you old. It's the stress of never being fully yourself. These women walk into rooms with a presence that stops time because they are no longer fractured inside. They are whole. They don't rehearse personalities. They don't memorize lines to be accepted. They show up without editing. That unfiltered energy is not chaotic, it's magnetic. They don't fear being misunderstood. They fear dying with their truth still locked in their throat. And that's why they look younger, because they're not carrying emotional weight. Every unsaid truth becomes heaviness. These women let it all go. They release decades of performance, and performance is pressure. Pressure is aging. Freedom is youth. They faced every wound with sacred rage and sacred love. They didn't bypass, they didn't numb, they didn't spiritualize their avoidance. They dove into the grief, the betrayal, the disappointment, not to dwell, but to reclaim. Every time they processed pain, instead of avoiding it, the face softened, the skin opened, the energy lifted. Because the body's not separate from memory, you cannot cover up the past. Your body remembers what your mind tries to forget. These women didn't forget. They remembered what it was like to be alive before the world told them who to be. And they returned to her, that version, that essence, that clarity. That return is their radiance. They stopped apologizing for their evolution. They didn't shrink from partners. They didn't hide from friends. They didn't fit into conversations where truth was unwelcome. And that fire made them timeless. They chose discomfort over dishonesty. They'd rather walk alone in truth than be surrounded in pretense. That's why they shine, because truth is magnetic. Not because it's easy, because it's rare. These women don't people please, they please their soul. And in doing so, they reset their biology. They don't chase closure, they are the closure. They don't linger in what could have been, they cut cords clean. Because lingering in limbo drains life force. And drained life force equals tired skin, dull eyes, and chronic fatigue. They don't just rest their bodies, they rest from roles. They stop performing for parents, partners, and projections. And when you step out of performance, the nervous system heals. These women don't just take care of their skin, they take care of their frequency. And frequency governs form. They don't gossip, they don't compete, they don't compare. Comparison is corrosion. Gossip is low vibration, competition is rooted in lack. These women are too busy building their reality to tear someone else's down. Their energy is clean, not because they're perfect, but because they're honest. They don't pretend to be healed, they choose healing every day. And that choice shows on their face. You can spot fake positivity from across the room. These women radiate because they aren't pretending to be anything, they just are. They don't ask for permission to change. They don't wait for approval to grow. They left relationships that dulled their shine. They walked away from conversations that insulted their intuition. They let people misunderstand them because being misunderstood is a small price to pay for living in truth. These women are misunderstood because they are light in a world addicted to shadows. But that light feeds their biology. The body loves authenticity. It breathes easier. It digests better, sleeps deeper. These women sleep like children. Not because life is easy, but because their soul is uncluttered. And they don't fight for their worth. They embody it. They don't explain their glow. They live it. You can't fake this. You can't filter it. It's not found in products. It's not manufactured in med spas. It comes from the inside out, from the choice to be real no matter the cost, from the willingness to disappoint everyone else, to stop disappointing yourself, from the strength to say no when the world expects you to nod and smile. That's beauty, that's power, that's what turns back time. They are ageless because they are fearless. Not fearless in the absence of fear, fearless in expression, fearless in truth, fearless in being seen, raw, imperfect, whole. They don't decorate cages, they burn them. They don't wear masks, they break them. They aren't waiting for someone to give them permission to be free. They gave themselves that permission, and the body follows the mind. And when the mind is liberated, the body shines. They don't tolerate being half loved. They don't settle for being half seen. Half anything is too expensive. It costs energy. It costs glow. It costs years. These women don't age like the rest because they don't abandon themselves like the rest. They honor every signal, every gut nudge, every intuitive hit. They leave when their soul says go. They stay when it feels safe. They speak when the voice inside demands release. That honesty is anti-aging. That alignment is medicine. They love themselves so deeply that the body no longer fights for attention. They don't manipulate their image. They align their energy. They don't obsess over lines. They obsess over alignment. Alignment makes you magnetic. Alignment keeps you soft. Alignment slows down time. These women have no need to fake youth because they become it. Not because of what they do, but because of who they are when they stop performing. They don't snack out of boredom. They don't eat out of habit. They eat when their body asks, not when the clock says to. They fast, not to punish, but to purify. Because fasting isn't starvation. It's a reset button for the entire system. It tells the body we are no longer ruled by craving. We choose discipline over impulse. And in that space, the body awakens. And these women don't eat emotionally. They eat energetically. They don't reward pain with sugar. They heal pain with truth, because sugar is a silent sedative, and sedation kills transformation. Their grocery list is simple: clean, real, alive. They read ingredients, not calories. They understand that chemicals steal frequency. Preservatives preserve food but destroy vitality. They choose color, texture, and vibration over convenience, because convenience is killing people slowly. They prepare their meals with intention. They don't microwave their future. They marinate their destiny in ritual. Cooking is their ceremony. Cutting vegetables is their meditation, because they know how you do one thing is how you do everything. If you rush your meal, you'll rush your life. And nothing sacred is ever rushed. They don't eat food made by machines. They eat food that speaks the language of life. They don't crave junk. They crave energy that feels like home, because their cells have memory. And once you feed them truth, they reject the lie. They don't eat because it tastes good. They eat because it feels right. They stop letting their tongue lead their destiny, because taste fades, but vibration lingers. A moment of flavor is not worth a week of fog. These women are lucid, clear, and electric, because what they eat electrifies their cells. They listen to their gut, not just for digestion, for decision-making, because gut health is mental health. And the second brain doesn't lie. They feed their microbiome like royalty. Fiber, ferments, roots, and minerals, not because it's trendy, but because it's ancient. Ancient wisdom lives in the gut, and when it's nourished, it speaks loudly. These women don't suffer from bloating, cravings, and fatigue, because their system is clean, not just clean from toxins, clean from trauma. They've stopped feeding pain, they feed power now. They don't use food as escape, they use food as return to presence, to breath, to the moment. They chew slowly, they drink deeply, they thank their plate, because gratitude is a digestive enzyme more powerful than any pill. When you eat with resentment, your body tightens. When you eat with thanks, your body opens. And opening is the key to longevity. These women glow because their meals are rituals, not rushed, not numb, not distracted. They don't scroll while they eat. They don't argue over dinner. They protect the portal through which life enters. They aren't obsessed with body fat. They're obsessed with body frequency. They don't compare plates, they compare peace. If a food creates chaos in the gut, it creates chaos in the mind. They know this. That's why they eliminate noise. Sugar is noise. Processed food is noise. Alcohol is noise. These women live in silence, clean, strong, radiant silence. And in that silence, the body heals. They don't debate diets. They embody wisdom. They don't demonize food groups. They trust their body's intuition, because once your body trusts you, it will tell you exactly what it needs. They detox not just to lose weight, they detox to release identity. Every time they cleanse, they let go of a past self, a version that was asleep, addicted, distracted. Detoxing is not about juice, it's about evolution. These women are not addicted to food. They're addicted to energy that feeds their future. They don't need cheat meals because their entire lifestyle is delicious, not in taste, in truth. And truth satisfies more than sugar ever could. Their glow is not from products. It's from purity. They aren't chasing glow. They are the source of it. They trust cycles, feast and fast, nourish and rest, eat and empty. They don't eat the same way every day because the body is alive, not mechanical. They tune into rhythms. They eat seasonally, cyclically, consciously. They honor the earth's timing. They align with nature's wisdom because food is not separate from the cosmos. It's encoded with the same intelligence that keeps stars burning. And when you eat in harmony, the cosmos aligns with you. These women are in harmony. That's why they shine. They don't numb discomfort with food. They face it. They let hunger teach them. They let cravings reveal where they're still bound. They transmute desire into discipline. These women aren't afraid of empty stomachs. They know emptiness is space. Space for healing, for remembering, for awakening. They know what true nourishment feels like. It feels like peace, like fire, like clarity in the blood. They don't need caffeine to wake up. Their cells are awake. Their energy is clean because their plate reflects their purpose. Their skin doesn't glow from products. It glows from minerals, from hydration, from presence. They drink water like it's holy because it is. They hydrate with reverence, not gulping, but receiving. They don't sip between complaints. They drink in silence, letting every drop purify. Their body is not a trash can. It's a temple. And they treat it like sacred ground because every meal is a message to the divine within. And that message is either I love you or I forgot you. These women never forget. They don't fear aging because every meal delays it. Every choice reverses it. They don't obsess over weight. They obsess over light. Lightness in spirit, light in digestion, light in thought. That's their secret. Not diet, not denial, but devotion. They're devoted to life force. And that devotion changed their face, their energy, their destiny, not from food, but from frequency. They stopped participating in drama. They stopped fighting battles that didn't belong to them. They stopped solving problems that weren't theirs because emotional over-responsibility is the silent killer of feminine vitality. They withdrew from situations that disturbed their nervous system, even if it meant losing people. They knew if peace cost you a person, it's not peace you're losing. It's a parasite, and parasites age you. People who drain you age you faster than time. That's why these women walk away without guilt. That's why they glow. They no longer argue with reality. They accept what is, choose what's next, and move. No looping, no spiraling, no needing everyone to understand. Stress lives in confusion. Youth lives in decisiveness. They aren't confused. They know what they want, and they don't apologize for it. They say no with the same softness they say yes, but the no is final. That energy, grounded, sovereign, unshakable, tells the cells, we're safe now. And when the body feels safe, it begins to repair. That's why stress is the enemy of youth, because it tells your body you're still in a war that ended years ago. They don't over-explain. They don't beg to be seen. They don't chase love. Chasing anything signals to your body that you're not enough. That's the lie that ages you, because it keeps your system in constant overdrive. Hypervigilance is not a personality trait. It's unresolved trauma. And trauma makes your body believe it has to age fast to survive. But when you heal, you don't just feel better, you look younger because the face reflects the story you've been telling yourself in silence. Change the story, change the face. They do not attend every argument they're invited to. They do not match energy. They own theirs. Their self-worth is not based on being busy. They rest without guilt, because guilt is stress dressed in emotional armor, and rest is repair. Every nap is a rebellion against burnout culture. Every quiet moment is medicine. They don't fear stillness. They welcome it, because only in stillness can the body shift from breakdown to breakthrough. So most women age because they never stop running. These women paused, and in the pause, they heal. Stress makes you tight. Healing makes you soft. And softness is not weakness. It's power. It's the power to flow, to move, to bend without breaking. That's youth. These women carry softness like a shield. They don't harden to survive, they soften to thrive. Their beauty is not loud, it's luminous. And that glow comes from a nervous system that feels safe inside its own skin. No tension, no tightness, no pretending. Just truth, just rest, just radiance. Because nothing ages faster than pretending to be someone you're not. They don't need closure. They don't need revenge. They let go because they know that hanging on is emotional inflammation, and inflammation is aging. They detox their mind, not just their meals. They cleanse their boundaries, not just their skin. They aren't on a diet, they're on a discipline of peace, a discipline of presence, a discipline of choosing themselves over and over again. And that discipline rewrote their DNA because every thought is a chemical. And these women think youth into their body by refusing to stress over what doesn't align. Now, they didn't try to look young. They became so aligned with who they are that the body responded with youth as a side effect. Because youth isn't in the mirror. It's in the frequency you emit when you're no longer pretending. They killed the identity that needed to stress to feel important. And in that death, something was born. Beauty that no cream could buy. Beauty born from peace. Born from rest. Born from power. Not external, not performative, but internal, rooted, real. Most people eat to fill their stomachs, but the women who reverse age eat to feed their frequency. They don't ask, will this make me full? They ask, will this raise my vibration? They understand that food isn't fuel, it's information. Every bite is a message to the body, and the body responds not just to calories, but to consciousness. They don't count macros, they count alignment. Because aligned energy digests differently than desperate energy. When you eat with shame, the body turns it into inflammation. When you eat with presence, the body turns it into light. This women don't chase skinny, they chase cellular clarity. They don't just remove toxins, they remove toxic thoughts while they eat. Because digestion begins in the mind, and the mind creates chemistry. If you eat while rushing, your body absorbs stress instead of nutrients. They sit, they breathe, they bless the food, not out of religion, out of remembrance, because they know food is sacred. Not because of tradition, but because of what it carries. Memory, emotion, frequency. And if the frequency is low, no amount of vitamins can reverse the damage. They don't chase superfoods, they create a super state. Because no food can save you if your thoughts are poisonous. They choose foods that are alive, foods that come from the earth, not from a lab. Because what you eat becomes your blood, your cells, your hormones, your face. They don't eat for comfort, they eat for clarity. Comfort food is code for emotional suppression, and suppression turns into stagnation. Stagnation becomes aging. These women aren't afraid of hunger. They use hunger as a signal, not of lack, but of a deeper alignment calling.